It is the dark of night, and the hunt is on for wild pigs in Texas, where they have a big pig problem. Why does this matter in Minnesota? Because wild pigs are also out of control much closer in Canada.
The footage was never supposed to go public. Deep in the Texas brush country, state-funded eradication teams have been filming their operations for years. Helicopter gunners, drone surveillance, thermal imaging sweeps across thousands of acres. It was all meant for internal review, data collection, population tracking. But when researchers at Texas A&M started analyzing the recordings, they discovered something that made them go quiet. Something that changed everything we thought we knew about this 500-year-old invasion. What the cameras captured wasn't just destruction. It was evidence of an enemy that's adapting faster than anyone predicted. The scale nobody was prepared for. When you first see the drone footage sweeping over Texas farmland, it looks like a war zone. Craters pockmark fields that were green just days before, irrigation lines shredded, entire pastures churned into mud. This is the work of 2.6 million feral hogs. And the Elimination Project footage reveals they've now conquered 99% of Texas. Only El Paso County remains untouched, for now. The numbers are staggering. These animals cause $52 million in agricultural damage annually in Texas alone. Nationwide, that figure hits $1.5 billion. Farmers are reporting losses of $200,000 a year. Family operations that survive generations are folding.
I would say look to Texas, look at the catastrophic things that they do, look at the diseases that they spread, look at the public safety issues.
But the economic toll isn't what made researchers pause the footage and rewind. What the thermal cameras revealed. The elimination teams use military-grade thermal imaging. It turns night into day, showing every warm body hiding in the brush as a glowing white silhouette. Standard protocol is simple: fly low, flush them out, neutralize the threat. The gunners have done this thousands of times, but the footage from the past 2 years shows something different, something disturbing. The hogs are changing their behavior. Thermal sweeps that used to reveal sounders of 20 or 30 animals now show empty brush. The hogs aren't gone. Population surveys confirm the numbers are higher than ever. They're just not where they used to be. They've learned what a helicopter sounds like. Veteran hunters reviewing the footage noticed it first. The moment a chopper crosses into certain territories, the thermal signatures scatter in coordinated patterns, not random panic. Organized retreat into terrain where aerial pursuit is impossible. One contractor described it as watching an enemy army execute a tactical withdrawal. The intelligence problem. Here's where the footage gets truly unsettling. Trapping operations have always been the backbone of hog control. You set up a large corral, bait it with corn, let the animals get comfortable over days or weeks. When the whole family group is inside, you trigger the gate remotely. It's effective. Or it was.
This hog trap works with an iPhone, and then when so many get in, you push a button on your phone and it closes the gate.
The Elimination Project cameras have documented what experts are calling sentry behavior. Older females positioning themselves outside trap perimeters, not eating, not entering, just watching. In one sequence that's been reviewed dozens of times, a dominant sow circles a baited trap for 6 consecutive nights. She never enters. Neither does her sounder of 23 animals. On the 7th night, they abandon the area entirely. The trap was never triggered. The bait rotted. These aren't random survival instincts. The footage suggests something closer to learned behavior being passed down through generations. The dumb ones walked into traps years ago. What's left is something different. The biological weapon nobody talks about. The elimination footage captures the obvious destruction, the rooted fields, the contaminated water sources, the landscapes that look like they've been shelled. But water quality testing conducted alongside the eradication efforts revealed numbers that alarmed state officials. In watersheds where hog activity is concentrated, bacteria levels spike 40 times above safe thresholds. 40 times. These animals wallow in water sources, defecate in streams, and turn clean creeks into biological hazards. The footage of hog wallows shows something medieval: churned mud, waste, and contamination, spreading downstream to farms, ranches, and communities that have no idea what's coming toward them. They carry swine brucellosis, a disease that can infect hunters who handle carcasses without protection. Symptoms can persist for years. In severe cases, it's fatal. They carry pseudorabies and tuberculosis. And looming over everything is African swine fever. It hasn't reached American soil yet, but if it does, and it enters the feral population, epidemiologists estimate it could collapse the domestic pork industry entirely. The elimination teams aren't just hunting pests, they're trying to contain a biological threat. the hybrid nightmare. The original invasion started simply enough. Christopher Columbus brought pigs to the West Indies in 1493, walking food supply for sailors. Some escaped. They thrived. By the 1500s, Spanish hogs had reached Texas. They were tough, fast, and perfectly adapted to survival. But the real mistake came in the 1930s. Ranchers imported Eurasian wild boars for sport hunting. Aggressive, intelligent animals from Europe and Asia. The fences didn't hold. When these boars bred with the feral Spanish hogs, they created something new, a hybrid that combined domestic pig reproduction rates with wild boar aggression and intelligence. The elimination footage shows what 90 years of this genetic experiment has produced. Animals weighing 400 pounds, tusks 3 inches long, shoulder shields of cartilage thick enough to stop small caliber bullets. And now there's a new threat pushing south. Canadian super pigs, hybrids bred specifically to survive freezing temperatures.
I think there's 2 challenges in Canada. One is their biology makes them very, very hard to get rid of. They reproduce faster than you can shoot them.
Thicker fur, larger bodies, different survival instincts. Some top 600 pounds. Researchers monitoring the elimination project are tracking the trajectory. If these northern hybrids merge with Texas populations, the resulting animal could survive anywhere on the continent. Heat, cold, desert, wetland. Nothing would stop them. The math that keeps researchers awake. Here's the brutal calculation that the elimination footage forces us to confront. A single sow reaches breeding age at 6 months. She can produce 2 litters annually, 6 to 12 piglets per litter. Those piglets mature in 6 months and start the cycle again. Biologists have run the numbers. To merely stabilize the population, not reduce it, just hold it steady, you have to kill 70% of the hogs in an area every single year. 7 out of 10. Every year, forever. If you drop below that threshold for even 1 season, the population rebounds completely within 24 months. Texas currently harvests around 750,000 hogs annually. It sounds massive, but the population grows by roughly 30% per year when left unchecked. The elimination efforts aren't winning. They're barely holding the line. The footage shows success in isolated cases. Certain panhandle counties have achieved 0 population. It's possible, but it requires something almost impossible to coordinate. Every landowner across thousands of acres working together, simultaneously, with no gaps. Hogs don't respect property lines. If one rancher traps aggressively while his neighbor does nothing, the animals simply relocate. When pressure eases, they return. It's like squeezing water. Push here, it bulges there. The uncomfortable economics. There's a question the footage raises that nobody wants to answer directly. Hog hunting is a multi-million-dollar industry. Wealthy clients fly in from around the world for the helicopter experience. Thermal scopes, specialized rifles, lodge accommodations. It generates serious revenue. If Texas actually eliminated the hog population, that economy vanishes. Some landowners have noticed something suspicious. Counties that were previously clear suddenly show new infestations, populations appearing hundreds of miles from the nearest known group. Hogs are mobile, but they don't teleport. When animals materialize in impossible locations, experienced trackers start asking uncomfortable questions. Did they walk, or did someone give them a ride? Relocation is illegal precisely because it spreads the invasion, but enforcement is nearly impossible across millions of acres of private land. The forever war. The elimination footage reveals a truth that's difficult to accept. This isn't a problem with a solution. It's a condition to be managed indefinitely. The 500-year-old mistake cannot be undone. It can only be contained at enormous cost forever. Every year, Texas spends $500 million on control efforts, traps, ammunition, aerial operations, personnel. That number will never decrease. It might only grow. The cameras document what happens when pressure drops. A cleared area, left unmonitored for a single season, repopulates. The footage compresses months into minutes, showing empty land, filling with thermal signatures like a wound growing infected. The hogs aren't just surviving our best efforts. They're learning from them, adapting, producing offspring that are harder to find, harder to trap, harder to kill. What the footage really shows. When researchers finally released selected clips, they expected the reaction to focus on the violence. Helicopters, thermal scopes, rapid-fire elimination. Instead, what disturbed viewers was what they saw in between. The intelligence in the animals' movements, the coordination, the evidence of something that looked less like pest control and more like asymmetric warfare. A 400-pound boar, hit with a thermal spotlight from a helicopter, doesn't panic. It moves deliberately toward cover, taking a path that minimizes exposure, as if it understands angles of fire. A sounder, scattered by an approach, regroups at a predetermined location 2 miles away within 90 minutes, the same location every time, as if they've rehearsed the maneuver. These aren't random behaviors. These are adaptations to human pressure, and they're accelerating. The verdict. The Elimination Project was supposed to document a problem being solved. Instead, it documented something else entirely, an invasion that's evolving in real time, an enemy that learns, a mathematical reality that guarantees this war will never truly end. The horrifying footage nobody saw coming wasn't the violence. It was the evidence that we might not be winning, that despite the helicopters and traps and thermal scopes and millions of dollars, we're facing a creature specifically engineered for survival. A 500-year-old experiment in accidental evolution, and we're watching the results in real time. Texas declared war on the wild hog. The footage suggests the hog might be winning.